let's start this. Okay, so as you can see here, we got some big news. What I'm going to do first, though, is take you into what we have done. So it's a feature that we've agonized over naming. We almost had a competition internally here, but what we settled on was something called the Consolidated Toner Shipping Alert. Now, here's the story. Now, back in the old days, when you set up an alert on all the toner cartridges to tell you when they're getting low, say 20% left, what would happen is on Monday, you get an alert that the black toner has gone to below 20%. So you send them over a new toner cartridge, right? Uh, Now, I'm not sure if this is particularly accurate in your area, but I looked it up on the U.S. Postal Service rate for a local parcel delivery is $17.90. Perfect, right? So they've got their toner. Well, it's not quite. On Tuesday, it rolls around and you get another alert from the machine saying that the cyan has dropped below 20%. So another $17.90 in shipping. So you're left saying, bloody hell, I wish I'd known that yesterday, right? Theoretically, that could happen again on Wednesday and on Friday for the different toners, right? So that's a total shipping charge of over $70. Now let's fast forward to the bright future. With the new consolidated toner shipment alert, what you're able to do is set up the alert so that FM will tell you if you should be sending out additional toner cartridges with that black one to reduce those shipping costs. Because what we're going to do is when that toner triggers the alert, we're going to look at what the other ones are, what the other levels are, and you can set up so that if it is drop below any of those are below a certain percentage or days remaining, you can alert on that to trigger that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this over to Paul, and Paul is going to show you what we are doing in that.
Thank you very much, James. And as I get this system set up here, bear with me here. And as you can see, here is my facilities manager screen, and I'm just looking at the dashboard right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate over to the Alerts tab, and I'm going to create a new alert profile. Now, in this profile, obviously we can select whether it's to a particular customer or maybe a set of devices that's across my entire MIF, whichever one I'm comfortable with. The condition I'm going to add is not the toner low, toner empty, but down here at the bottom, the toner consolidation alert. Now, in this alert, there's a couple of different features that you can do because, in a sense, for multi-cartridge devices, this is a great catch-all because what we can say is trigger the initial alert on 20%, but notify me when any of the other cartridges or include that information into the alert when the cartridge is at least 30%, or maybe we can do it by days remaining. So in this case here, I'll say, give me an alert when there's 5 days remaining, but also include in this alert any notifications on any cartridges that are at least 10 days remaining in their toner. Once I've got that active, and I'll just navigate here over to our blog, once we've got that active, you'll see an alert like this, where you've got the device, the name of it, the serial number, the IP address, of course, the new alert, which was the toner consolidation at 10% remaining here. And in this case here, we've set the consolidated report to say, send me any other alert at 25%. So now we've got both toners for the one device in one alert. We estimate that this is going to significantly reduce the amount of alerts that come into any given customer at this point. So please feel free to try it out and give us your feedback on how that alert is working. I think I'm going to pass it back to you, James. If that's the case, bear with me here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Paul. We'll be back to you in just a moment. Well, next up, what we have is we are now capturing the host name of the device. Now, this may sound small, but it could really have a huge impact on the way you use FM. Now, the host name is a unique name that large organizations especially give their equipment, which in the vast majority of cases will never be changed. Whereas if you're using the IP as the identifier, those can change frequently. Now, this not only provides a reportable additional field of information, but it can also assist you when you're doing assessments, because you'll be able to talk to the IT and ask them about particular devices based on their own naming convention. So it eliminates that confusion. Now, Paul, I'm going to pass it quickly over to you again to show us that.
Sure thing. So we're back here at my main screen here, and I'm just going to navigate over to this smaller Officio 305. And as you can see here, we've got the host name of the device as well as the friendly name of the device. What we're typically finding nowadays is that we're seeing a lot of organizations are now deploying out print drivers or managing the devices simply by the host name. This gives you that extra level of identification beyond, let's say, the location tab or the equipment asset ID tag. And what I'll do here is I'll send it back over to you, James.
Thank you.
Where?
Technology is wonderful, but we're used to instant, aren't we? There we go. Okay, so the next thing that we have is a feature that will help a number of you have experienced frustration when you're using that days remaining toner alert for machines that report their toner level in percentages until you get to X percent, say 25, and then it, of course, very helpfully reports that toner is now just low. Of course, if that's the case, what that does is it disables the toner days remaining calculation alert, because although it's triggered based on days remaining, it's that calculation still using the percentage as a baseline. So you may as well have used astrology to determine when to send out new toner. Well, not anymore, because what we've done is added intelligence into the system that will simply base the calculation of the days remaining based on how long it took for the toner to drop from 100% down to the point where it goes low, and combine that with the volume of the pages that it has seen over that period. Now, I'm not sure if there's anything for Paul to show us here, but I would encourage you to start using that on those machines that do at a certain point just go to low and disable the alerts that you've experienced. We had a lot of feedback from our user base saying that is a pain in the necks. So that's what we're doing on there. Now, lastly, what we've done is we've updated the site details page to give you more information on this ISIS scan activity. And I'm just going to pass it one more time over to Paul to show you what that is about.
Thank you, James. And right now I'm in the Administration tab in Facilities Manager. I'm going to go over to the Customers tab, and I'm going to go into the primary site. When I click on the Information Collection Engine tab, you'll notice that there's a couple of new items here with the information. First is the last scan date, the type of scan, was it a quick or discovery scan, how long it took, and how many IP ranges were discovered in that last scan. This allows you guys, especially in some of the larger environments, to tailor things like how many times the system actually does scanning, or maybe the amount of queries that the ICE engine will do on each device around and tailor towards the customer's environment. So in larger environments, you're actually able to track how long the last scan actually took. So if you got, let's say, a fairly large organization, maybe they have 10, 15,000 devices in there, you can tailor the scan ranges and the intervals of each time ICE will scan all those devices according to fit the needs of all the IP ranges in the customer's environment. So I will pass it back to you, James.
Thank you. Well, that's actually all we have to show you today. Let's throw this out for some questions.
So the first question I got is, how can we do this for an entire site to use the toner consolidation alert? Now, what I'll do is I'll give you guys a bit of a best practice in that case. There's a couple ways you can do this type of alert. The one I would suggest doing is creating a toner consolidation alert for a site, have a report maybe once daily, and have that as a consolidation. So now you're going to get one alert with all the toners that you can for one customer. James, we have another question here asking about the frequency of releases. It says, I've noticed that Print Audit has been releasing a number of releases with Facilities Manager on a frequent basis. Can you speak into this development frequency?
Yeah, this is actually a development goal that we have, is to, rather than just build up a whole whack of different additional features and improvements to the system and then take that as a once a quarter or whatever, have a big release. What we want to do is we want to see continual releases, and our goal is one a month. We've actually gone above and beyond that. We are, I think we've had 17 releases in the last 12 months. But if you want to see the history on any of those, certainly if you go to the Help tab at the top right-hand corner of your FM portal, you go to the About at the bottom of that menu that pops up. It'll give you all the release notes. So our goal is one every month.
I got a question here. It says, when you action the consolidated toner alert, will the device that is combined at 30% re-alert at 20%? So the way this alert is designed is it's designed to basically trigger on the percent levels that you've set up in the system. So let's say you've got it set up at a 30% notification, and then those secondary toners go down to 20%. You're not going to receive another alert until the cartridge is changed. So once the cartridge is changed and we read a much higher level, then you're going to be able to then that alert will be reset and be ready for triggering again. Got another one here. Is there a way to set an alert to the email to the site contact included the site data and when the site goes stale across accounts without creating a separate alert per account? Yeah, there should be no problem with that. And what we can do is, if you've got a detailed question about something like the stale data alerting, please give our office a call. We can help you build that alert and tailor it to the way you guys want to see that. Got another question here. It says, does FM ICE automatically update itself at the client side? And yes, as we do these releases, as we do these alerts, ICE will ask and will look for constantly to be the latest version and will automatically update. Got another one here. Says, is there a way to search or filter within the alert group? I have over 6 pages of devices on a particular alert profile and would like to be able to search without needing to manually look through 6 pages of devices. So I'm not too sure if that is possible at this moment, but please give us a call here in the office. We'll definitely put it in as a feature request, and we'll see if we can get it into one of these frequent releases that we've got. Got another one here. It says, are there any upfront costs associated with using our system to track meters?
Sorry, Paul, could you repeat that, please?
The question is, are there any upfront costs associated with using your system to track meters?
All of the usage on our for any of our products, everything is based on a subscription. So we have a variety of levels of subscription that you can engage with us. The subscription programs are designed so that they're all designed so that you pay a set monthly fee, and for that you get a pool of units of licensing from which to draw. Some has some focus on facilities manager, some has some focus on our user management and secure release rules-based and things like that. And then we have a product that gives you sort of carte blanche. So there is a monthly set fee for this. Please give us a call here and we can certainly describe to you how those levels all work.
Okay, got a couple of other ones here. Bear with me because we're getting quite a bit of questions here. If a customer we know currently has toner stock, is there a way to have the first alert ignored? So at the moment, there is no way of doing that. We are working on some additional features to take that into consideration, but it is fairly difficult because that means you need to be directly tied into an inventory system to do things like that. So we're working on something, and we should have some information on that type of request shortly. Got another question here saying, is there a way to set toner levels or percent levels on color for color machines? Now, with the consolidated alert, what you'll do in that case is it will scan all the cartridges. So in the consolidated alert, let's say you put it at 20% for whichever toner, doesn't matter which one it is. And for the secondary alert, maybe you put it at 30%. So it will include the level of those toner cartridges in the alert. So if you've got a device that's triggered an alert on 20% and there's one or two cartridges that are 30%, that will show up in that alert. So that should consolidate all the ordering. Got another one here. Says, can you show us how to set up the system to show days remaining on toner alerts? James, if you want to.
Yeah, let me... There you go.
All right. So what happens with days remaining, and I'll just take you through a couple of devices here to show you. In this case here, I'm going into this Fishio 305 here, and I'm going to go to the supply levels. When a device shows us a percent level, we will do our best efforts to estimate a projected depletion date for that cartridge. Now, this is depending on the device actually reporting. If the device reports a toner level that looks like this one here, where it only would show OK, low, empty, it is virtually impossible to calculate out this type of date. From there, we go into the alerting tab, and we'd set up an alert profile. So in this case here, I'm just going to go, I'm not going to assign it a device, I'm just going to go into a couple of different conditions. The first one here is toner days remaining, and I can set that toner days remaining right here at that date. So in this case here, if the device is showing a toner days remaining calculation in that display field, we can easily calculate that out and set it here. Alternatively, with a consolidation alert, what we would do here is I'm going to actually zero out the percentages because I don't want to be notified on those percentages. But in this case here, with days remaining, I'm going to say 5 days remaining on any cartridge in the device, and any secondary cartridges in those devices, I'm going to do it at 10% remaining. So in this case here, or days remaining. So in this case here, if one of the cartridges says, hey, there's only 5 days left in this toner, I get the first notification. And then if there is any other cartridge in that device that only has 10 days left or lower, it'll include that into the alert as well, and you will not get a secondary trigger on that device. Got another question here saying, if we make an change to an existing alert to include toner consolidation condition, is there a way for that change to take effect for all future alerts. So what happens is once you start these alerts, once you build these alerts, the effect is immediate. So in this case here, I can go, for example, here, I'll just do it for all the devices in my site, in my one particular customer site. As soon as I build this alert and hit save, that alert is now active and will trigger the next time a condition happens. The question here is, has the toner low issue been tested with Sharp to confirm that it is fixed? And that's one of the things that we've got with the days remaining. So I'll go back here, and I'm going to go back into, let's go into the Sharp device here. So this is a Sharp 2600N. It's a little bit of an older device. I'm going to go into the toner level page, and as you can see here, we've got a projected days remaining. We are also picking up the toner levels. Now, what happens with a typically with a Sharp device is they deplete levels at 25% intervals. So as you can see here, the cyan toner is at 25%. It won't report another level until it hits empty. Thankfully, because of the way we've set up the system now, is we will keep that days depletion remaining static until that cartridge changes, and then we will go through a continued process of trying to estimate the days remaining. Got a question here, James, for you. It says, are these webinars taped for future viewing?
Absolutely. I remembered to hit record for a change. So yeah, we will be posting that on our YouTube channel, and we'll send that out.
Got another question here. It says, do you have an administration documents to show how the action of the new features are shown to us? So I'm just going to point you over to our blog page. Now, in our blog page here at the Print Management Insider, we did release a little bit of a blog. This is written by our support team about how the new changes work. This is pretty informative, and we'll go through everything that we've covered in the webinar. As you can see here, we've got every new firmware, every new issue, and as we do these releases, we'll be releasing little blogs like this so you can actually view this data at any given time. I will also, just as a side note, I'll show you here, if we go into the blog itself, there is a ton of information on absolutely anything you can think of, not just about the devices and the systems itself, but a lot of industry type news. Our VP of Business Development, Wes McDonald, has been working really hard in providing content for you guys about the industry, about where things are going in the direction of the industry. So please, I encourage you to go to that blog and read some of the information that he's showing.
And just to add to the access to information that you have on the changes we've made here, of course, like I mentioned before, there is the help menu that you can access. And of course, if you have any questions, our tech support is always available to you. Many of you used it in the past and know that the guys there really know their stuff, and they're totally willing to help you.
So we've got a number of questions here coming in still. James, I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of them, but I'm going to try and get through a few of them right now. Just to remind you guys, we will make sure that every single question is answered here, whether it's on this call or not. If you have any additional questions about this system, about FM, please give us a call in the office here. You can reach us toll free at 877-412-8348 and just ask for sales. And if sales can't help you out, we will put you through to our support team, and they'll be able to help you out with any questions.
So
go ahead, James.
I was just going to say we'll go until the bottom of the hour, which is 3 minutes away. So let's see what we can get to in that time.
Sure thing. And bear with me here. I'm just grabbing some. Here's a good one for you. It says, do you recommend keeping the standard toner low, toner empty alert in place and then adding the consolidation alert as well? Or does the consolidation alert make the low empty redundant? The way we've set this up was we've set up as many alerts as possible to make this as flexible as possible. So when you're looking at the different types of alerting, obviously you'd want to use whatever you need to for your needs. So the consolidation alert specifically was designed to show you guys the levels and give you guys indications of what needs to be shipped on multi-cartridge devices. So things like a 4-cartridge color device, or would be a great example of where this system would work. For items like a single cartridge, maybe a black and white device, we suggest using just one of the regular alerts because there is no multi-cartridge in there. So in that case here, we could use a toner low empty or a toner days remaining alert depending on how that device reports.
And to answer you, and to strictly answer that question, and make sure that we're getting that answer, I think yes, Paul, if I'm right, that would make that other one redundant if you were using the consolidated toner shipment,
That's right.
because you'd have two alerts basically on the same thing.
That's exactly right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about out of time here. I know there's a fair amount of questions that were unanswered on this call. We're going to get back to you by email, or we will give you a call and have a conversation with you about some of these questions, and we'll make sure that everything gets answered. What will happen after this call is this webinar will be available for you guys via YouTube, and we will be sending out an email once that webinar is up and running.
Thank you, Paul. I just want to thank everybody for attending. We've had some really good questions, very good turnout. Obviously, this is something that everybody was very interested in. And we all thank you for your time and have a nice day. Bye-bye.